Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm your host Owen. I just got out of work, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift, and luckily for me, at the tail end of my shift, the Draft Dudes posted their newest episode of Hot Takes, which I guess I'm turning this into a series now because I just enjoy hearing them react to my takes, and I feel like giving an explanation feels better. I posted 4 takes today, and I'm going to go through, I'm going to dissect each one of them, the reactions to it, because they did it kind of separately. They alternated it. So on the Draft Dudes, for those who aren't regular listeners of them, they do, normal draft or football takes, and then they also do food takes, like food hot takes. So I sent in 4, 2 of each, and then they alternated it. I may have worded 1 or 2 kind of weirdly, but we'll go through them in the order they went through them. So first off is my take on Cam Jones, linebacker from Indiana. This is the reaction.
Cam Jones, linebacker of Indiana, is the single most slept-on prospect in this draft. That's a bold claim.
I did him, did I not?
What's the name of the player?
Cam Jones.
Cam Jones, linebacker of Indiana.
Oh, yeah. I am done. Kyle has, I know that. He gave him a mid-round grade.
I did give him a mid-round grade. He's certainly a draftable player. A little undersized. I believe he's listed in the mid-220s. I think the thing that I would like to see from Cam is just more splash plays in general, whether it's plays in the passing game or tackles for loss or pressures on third downs. He's a really consistent player, but I don't know, like playing in Indiana, if you don't have a lot of splash plays, I think the sell when you also have some physical skill, like size questions, it's just kind of a weird mix in my mind.
And my justification is the reason he's the most slept on is I got into Cam Jones back when he played Cincinnati with Desmond Ridder there, because I was watching Desmond Ridder film, and Cam Jones kind of popped. I was like, oh, I've never heard anybody talk about this. And I was kind of confused, but then I realized, okay, maybe it's because he was confirmed to be coming back to school, but he's a senior. As we now know, he's now there back for his redshirt senior season. I currently have, if I just double check my grades, I'm pretty sure it's a 4th round grade here. While I'm doing this, make sure you go check out patreon.com/KillPro88 to get access to the Dynasty Index, and you can check out all my linebacker grades, where I have Cam Jones ranked as a late day 2, so like a late round 3, early day 3, so early round 4 prospect. Now this has nothing to do with his games he's playing this year, which he was on a really good pace this year. But the things that Kyle brought up, who I knew Kyle would be the one who watched him, because he is their like Big 10, or at least he was their Big 10 kind of guy who watched all their film. Bring up that he's undersized. Yes, he's going to be strictly a weak side linebacker prospect, and that you would like to see him make more splash plays. That's true. I'm not going to deny that, and that may also be why he's a little slept on, because Indiana is not a big school program, and so most of the normal people won't really see or hear about him until like their team actually drafts him. But even with from the draft community that I've been a part of for years now, I have not heard anybody mention his name outside of one tweet from a random dude who said the Ravens needed to draft Cam Jones after that Cincinnati game. It's been over a full year since that game, and I still haven't seen anybody talk about him. For me, he's late day 2, early day 3, but even Kyle said he's a day 3 prospect for him. You would think somebody had to mention a day 3 prospect linebacker from Indiana. And the reason I'm a little bit higher on him is, he's undersized, but he does the stuff that you want an undersized linebacker prospect to do, which is cover decently well in the open field. He's more aggressive towards the run, which is not very likely, or not mostly seen from these guys who are not seen as box defenders because of how small they are. Yeah, he's like 220, but he does shoot gas pretty well, especially in the 2021 season. Like I said, I haven't dove into his 2022 tape yet. He does shoot gas pretty well. He's aggressive, and I just feel like for a weak side linebacker prospect, yes, he's going to be limited. I feel like you can get much worse than him, and that people just haven't mentioned him at all, and it kind of just I had no idea. I don't know why people aren't mentioning him. So that was just that take. That was kind of an easier one to bring them in slowly. Then they get to my first food take, which was this one.
Food take. As someone who has worked in Buffalo pizzerias for the past 4 years, I can safely say that buffalo sauce is the most infuriating food product to exist. It doesn't actually exist in Buffalo pizzerias, since it's just hot sauce and butter, aka mild or medium sauce. The heck is going on with this take?
Joe, this one's all you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to communicate here. I mean, and you guys are going to be there this weekend. They're just called chicken wings in Buffalo, right? We don't call them buffalo wings.
I'm gonna go up to somebody and say, hey, can I get some buffalo wings?
I mean, they'll know what you're talking about, but it's more of a identifier that the origination of the sauce and concept of flavoring your chicken wings like that originated in Buffalo, New York. So that's all it is. So I guess there's a sense of pride that I think we should have about something that's been so deeply expanded across the country always has that detail about it being from Buffalo. So I guess it's fine, but I kind of see where he's coming with this, but.
And this was, okay, so I worded this weird. And it's more of a, I guess, because I knew they were coming up to Buffalo for this Bills game this weekend. And so, and they're both, Kyle and Chris are not from Buffalo. Well, Joe is. The point of my take was, because I just get really mad when people use the term buffalo sauce. Like, yeah, buffalo sauce is technically the term for it, but it's just hot sauce mixed with butter. And for personal experience, when I worked with the pizzerias and stuff, if someone walked in, and I knew they weren't from Runner because they use the term buffalo sauce. No one uses it here. They come in and they're like, oh, can I get wings? And they're like, okay, how would you like them? They go, with buffalo sauce. That doesn't help me. I have to sit there and then ask you, like, well, do you want a medium or mild? And I've run into people who are like, I just want buffalo sauce. And it's like, okay, but that's not... The buffalo sauce is, like, yes, I understand you want butter in it, but, like, you need to tell me the level in which you want the heat. If it's mild or medium, it depends on how much butter we add to it. And it's like... I understand for places, like, outside of the area where it's, like, there's one heat. It's like buffalo sauce is basically just a replacement for mild outside of here. But for someone who has dealt with it here, and it kind of has a pride in it from being around here in Buffalo, that it's just, I don't know, it's a pride thing that I just really don't like how, one, I guess, just call it mild or medium sauce. Like, I think everyone knows that the chicken wings are from Buffalo. It's a thing from Buffalo. But at the same time, it's like, it doesn't help me. This has made my life actively worse. So that was more of a ranty thing, just to get my take out there, and hopefully that the Buffalo person on the podcast would have backed it. And yeah, I got a little heat for mentioning two Buffalo related takes, which we'll get to the second one in a minute. But yeah, that was kind of my theme for this one. I'll probably back off for next week's takes. My third take, which is my other football take, and the one that got the most pushback, I got the dreaded poop hat treatment from them, which is where they have a poop emoji hat that they throw on for bad takes. It was
football take from the Weekly Huddle podcast, and I'm all the way out. Where's the poop hat? I'm going to need it for this one. Looking at them as purely prospects and ignoring what they have done in the NFL so far, Cam Smith is the best corner prospect in the past 3 drafts. All the way out. All the way out.
Wow. So Sauce was definitely last year, and so was Derek Stingley.
Yeah, and Sauce is better than Cam Smith. I'm sorry, as a prospect. I mean, not doing this. Not going through, so quit asking.
Yeah, he won't be my highest grade. And the great thing about the way we scout players is
we'll know.
Yeah,
that's right. We'll get the answer to that question.
So that was my take. And yes, there is a grading system. And for me personally, I don't really count myself as having been contributing to scouting or doing actual scouting until like last season, because last season when I actually fully adopted like a grading system, like putting grades on guys so I can actively go against them or put them up against each other. Before that, it was kind of just me doing it for fun, doing it for, you know, shits and giggles, and just eyeballing it. And so I can't really attest to the third one, but I feel like just looking at it, I can. Cam Smith, I'm pretty sure, if I've double checked it a couple times, so I'm almost positive that he is graded out to be my top cornerback prospect to this point. I understand like Sauce is a good player right now and was a good prospect. That's why I indicated like it's just purely as a prospect. Like coming out of college, Cam Smith is the best one. Whereas so this year, Cam Smith, I think he is the best one in there. I'm not a big Keely Ringo fan. They bring him up later in the show. I'm not a big Ringo fan. But he's the best one this year for me. And then last year you had Stingley, Sauce. Then you had like a bit of a drop down with like Newsom and people like that. I feel like I'm missing somebody. But like with them coming out of college, Stingley, there was always questions about him physically. Like he was hurt the whole season, and he played a little too much like hero ball kind of at corner. He had that great freshman season, but he kind of fell off after that. So he was a pretty good athlete, and people just drafted him off of pedigree and what he did as a freshman. So I could see that. But like I think Cam Smith is a lot more physical, plays the run a lot more physical than him, and is overall had a better, well-rounded game while also not being that much worse of an athlete to the point where it's like a big concern. And with Sauce, I loved Sauce, especially because his height, weight, speed combination, his ability to mirror wide receivers in man. He showed up against some of the best receivers and held, like I think he led up 0 touchdowns in his college career. But I had slight question marks on his zone capabilities, which, yeah, he was a great man corner. Why would you ever play him in zone? So it was kind of unproven. And even at the NFL level right now, he's playing lights out, but he is playing a lot of man kind of concepts or deep zone concepts where he's basically just manned up on the outside with the guy. So I think that as a prospect, I like Cam Smith more again. And he, even though Sauce wasn't afraid to hit and begin involved in the running game, Cam Smith is actively like a great run defender at the corner level, and is like plays with his hair on fire. I just like that attitude is really good. The only other one I would think would really challenge him would be from the year prior, which is why I made it 3 because I felt like that would make the conversation a little tougher. Because then you had the Pat Surtain and J.C. Horn, who I was both pretty high on. But again, I didn't have grades on them, so this was more the eye test. With Surtain, it was more of a, like, can he be scheme flexible kind of thing. I had less questions about him, but again, this is before I really dove deep and put grades on these guys, so I don't have a lot of information to fall back on. And then with Horn, I really liked him as man corner, especially when he did the Kyle Pitts in their game they played against. He was pretty physical, but I just liked Cam Smith's technique, ability to leverage, even though he wasn't as good of an athlete as some of these other guys. He uses his leverage really well in zone. And as a man corner, he's just super fluid with his hips, and he was able to really lock down guys, even guys who were better athletes than him. Like I said, leverage. He understands leverage very well. He knows how to use his body to take away throw angles, even if he isn't perfectly one-on-one with the guy in the route. So I just really like Cam Smith, and that was kind of like my hot takey one. But I vehemently believe that one. I'm pretty strong on that one. Even if it's only by like a point or two, I think he's probably my favorite corner prospect I've ever looked at myself personally. And then the final take is back to food and Buffalo-related one, mostly because I was drinking one of these at the time. I was like, oh, I should send this take in because, again, they're not from Buffalo, so I wanted to see if they got it. So this was the take.
The last food take. Favorite, it's more of a question. Favorite sugary drink, and then the Weekly Huddle podcast says the correct answer is Loganberry? Question mark? I don't know what this is.
Yeah, that's another Buffalo staple. It's another Buffalo staple.
Is it
I didn't know we were doing Lockdown Bills here.
Yeah.
Herd Mentality, episode 225
Listen,
here.
Right.
I just read
With
the
special
takes,
guest
okay?
Chris Schubert and Kyle Krabs.
Listen, I just read the takes as they're presented.
I don't think it's that good. I'm not a big Loganberry fan. Is he saying it's the best sugary drink?
He said best sugary drink.
I'm going.
Is sugary drink like another thing Buffalo invented or what?
No, Loganberry is a Buffalo thing, but not sugary drinks, obviously.
What is it? Like
I don't know, what you say,
soda
sweet tea,
juice?
soda,
Oh,
yeah. I don't know, pineapple juice. Have you had that? That's pretty freaking good. So
pineapple juice?
Yeah, I love pineapple juice with a little tequila in there.
Yeah, what draws the line? Like, is apple juice a sugary drink?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm just confused as the family
Kool-Aid.
of drinks that are classified as sugary drinks.
Sugary, yeah. It's a tough thing to.
How about this Wawa diet iced tea, lemon tea?
Well, let me see the nutritional facts on the back.
It's diet, so there's no sugar, but there's a
All
bunch
right.
of chemicals
Regular
that make it sweet.
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, Loganberry is like a purplish looking, it's like a juice. And what I meant by sugar, because this was a big catch-up for some reason, a sugary drink is like juices, like fruit punch, stuff like that, or like sugary apple juices, or like pop, soda, energy drinks even. You can count them as those because they have high sugar. That's what I was counting when I said sugary drinks. But like Loganberry is just a super sweet, but also it's very unique. It's a Buffalo thing specifically, which is why I wanted to throw this one out there to see how if either of them knew it, and they didn't. And Joe even the Buffalo guy didn't defend it. He wasn't a big fan of it. But I'm a big sweets guy, and Loganberry is definitely my favorite. So that one I think was the least controversial. But I just wanted to see if either of them knew, if either of the non-Buffalonians knew what the drink was. I hope I explained everything pretty well. I actually liked my takes this week, but again, they were a little out there. I try to make it a little entertaining for them. And other than that, see you guys later.